Hey everyone, welcome to the stream. I'm Alfred.
Submarine.
And this is episode 120. So in this episode, we'll be interviewing Alex Glow, which is like the head hardware nerd at Hackster.io. And then after the interview, we'll go over some little announcements. So yeah, without further ado, here's Alex.
Hey Alex, how are you doing?
Hey, what's up?
Good. In Miami.
Yeah, I bet it's nice out there. It's pretty sunny here.
Oh yeah? I think the weather is pretty similar, San Francisco and Miami, or no?
Nah, San Fran gets cold.
Okay.
Miami
We
doesn't
get cold.
Okay.
We get hella cold.
Yeah.
I take it back.
Yeah, I was there in the summer last year and it was cold.
But today's pretty
Oh,
good.
wow.
It's like a solid maybe 65 degrees.
Okay.
Oh wow, yeah,
Okay,
it's-
never mind.
What is it?
Fahrenheit.
It's 20. I switched to Celsius, so I don't
Oh,
know
yeah.
now.
I
It's
don't
26
remember what
Celsius
that is.
here.
I'd say that's like 70 something
Yeah.
Fahrenheit. Very
78.8.
comfortable. Okay.
Nice. That's why you're in t-shirts. Got like 8 layers on. Anyway, so like one thing that sunny weather is good for is sharing it with your friends.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Neat segue to I've been building a friend. His name's Trio.
Nice.
Oh,
And
that's so
basically,
cool.
last time we talked, I was planning this super elaborate thing that I still plan to build, but it's going to take a little longer than I expected.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, I decided to build this thing because my third hand keeps falling apart. You know how usually they have like this little magnifying glass on the top and they look kind of cute, like a little person kind of? Anyway, to me they do. In this case, I decided to turn it into a smart assistant and just replace the magnifying glass that kept falling out with a matrix creator. And so it's got this little Raspberry Pi Zero on the back. I'm still working on the programming, but you can see that I've done these servo connectors with this heat shrink sort of intermittently to hold the
Nice.
wires together, and then they go to these servos,
Wow.
which are not going to like do pincers or anything. Maybe eventually. But for now, they just sort of like will wave its little arms around with whatever it's holding, whether that's like stickers or something in front of the camera. And eventually, so there's going to be a camera poking through here, and I'll be able to tell it, like, hey, Trio, turn on the light and take a picture. And then it'll do that for me, and it'll help with project documentation, because that's what I do all day.
Oh, that's awesome.
I mean, on the cool days. Mostly it's email, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you know the pain. But yeah,
Yeah.
so... this is
Oh,
part of
that's
a
so
long-term
cool.
plan to build sort of telepresence robots.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, one thing we need to do for the Earth is start taking fewer flights. And a good way to do that is to have an awesome robot that you ship instead of yourself,
Yeah.
which is way cheaper and less carbon. So this is like a sort of useful step on the way there. Ooh, if I can screen share for a second, I can show
Yeah,
you.
Yeah.
please.
Cool, yeah. So... a window. Yes, I will allow it. I want to allow it. Sorry, 1 second. Oh, here we go. There we are. Does that work? I think it's coming up. Can you see anything?
Yeah, yeah.
Great.
Yeah, that looks good.
So this is at bit.ly/triobot, TR10BOT. And it's not fully published yet because it's still sort of very minimal. But eventually the whole tutorial is going to go here, and then you can see sort of the process of designing these 3D printed parts. So basically there's a little servo holder that goes in where you'd usually have the alligator clips connected.
Mm-hmm.
And instead they're connected to the servos, and you just put this in the little clamp thing. And then here's the top part that holds the matrix creator.
Nice.
There we go. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And so this is made in Onshape, where I've got kind of all three of them sort of in the same document because I was working on them together. But you can see that the top part of it is sort of split, and this is a really helpful thing for being able to get the creator in there. So like, I'll just show you really quick.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if it was snapped in or something, but that
No,
makes
yeah, it's
sense.
got like a little screw in there. I just made a little
Mhm.
hole.
Oh, that's so
and
clever.
just like split it and put this little nub in here with a hole through, and then I was able, because you know 3D prints are pretty soft, but
Yeah.
I've been able to like screw this in and unscrew it a few times and it still holds really well.
Mhm.
So that's like really functional. And again, it just has that little knobble where it gets held in by the usual clamps and stuff.
Very nice.
I'm for sure gonna 3D print this myself. I have the exact same like
Yes.
magnifying glass with the little
Yeah.
arms. I'll for sure do this. We'll have
Sweet.
a couple. We'll have one in the office.
I would love that. Yeah, and it's totally moddable, you know. I'll make it so that the design is public and stuff. Oh yeah, and I'm also working on this other one, which is a smaller one for the voice. So the creator has one, the voice has one.
Ooh.
That's not totally perfect yet. I'll show you in a second, and you'll see what I mean.
Okay.
But in the meantime, for tomorrow and Thursday, which is Hardware Con in, I think, Santa Clara, I'm trying to get it actually up and running so it'll move the servos. And this is where I could actually use y'all's advice. Right now, I saw your previous episode on getting started with Matrix Lite, and that seems like a good way to go.
Carlos isn't here, but he's nodding yes.
Cool. Yeah, I see this. I was just following along and finding this Matrix Lite section of the documentation, and that's really exciting. I'm like vaguely familiar with both JavaScript and Python, which makes that really friendly, and I'm pretty excited.
Yeah.
And we have all the examples on there for like using servos, using the LEDs. So
that's exactly what I need. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Because I have used servos before on the Pi, but obviously I'm not connecting to the Pi. I'm connecting to the creator, and so I need to make sure that I know how to do that. And so the fact that you have those tutorials is fantastic.
That's nice.
Very exciting. Plus the lights and stuff. So here's the one for the voice, and it's a little bit fancier.
Okay, cool.
Because it doesn't have to be as robust, and that's mainly so that it doesn't get in the way of the plugs and stuff back here.
Makes sense.
But obviously the sizing is a little bit off, and that's partly because my 3D printer didn't do the support material in here very well. But yeah, you can just sort of snap it in and out. Super easy.
Nice. It kind of looks like a speech bubble.
Oh, I love that. That's great. I was going for kind of an old school vintagey kind of thing. But,
yeah.
I
like
really
like an old school record player, like the horn of it.
Like a Victrola. Cool. Oh, I love that, and that's kind of appropriate as well because it's like an audio thing.
True.
Exactly. I like it.
So clever. You totally could too. You could put a little horn thing on the front and then have it shoot lights out of it as well.
Wow, yeah, that would be interesting.
Fun.
Great. Anyway, so that's what I'm up to, and I can't wait to check out more of the examples with the servos and stuff.
For sure.
Really cool.
So one thing I wanted to ask you, which I saw this on Twitter a couple weeks ago, was the hack jack. Please explain how you guys came up with this, because I just saw that scrolling past on my news feed, and I was like, what in the world is this? There's no way electronics fit in this.
So are you...
What magic?
Well, I mean, what... Okay, so obviously, though, the thing is that it's an entire assembly, right? It's not... Where's my demo unit? I don't know where it went. Oh, it's out in the main place. I'll be back in 2 seconds. Is that okay?
Yeah,
okay.
Go for it. Go
of
for
course.
it.
We'll stall.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
so I'll explain a little bit. So the hack jack, it was basically this post that Alex made on Hackster's blog and a couple other places for April Fools. And Alex is back. Now you can explain better. I was telling them how this was a post you made for April Fools.
Oh, okay, you did realize that. Good. I assume most people have, but I have had to break the news to some people and be like, it's not real, right? Anyway, so this is, it's an implant, right? So most of the technology goes inside your head, right? That's the whole idea. I mean, with miniaturization today, so much stuff is possible, right?
Yeah.
And I actually stuck the demo one on the wall here.
Oh, that's so funny.
This is just double-sided sticky tape.
Nice.
And I mean, you could totally fit a bone conduction speaker and a Bluetooth transmitter in here.
Yeah,
I don't know about the whole idea of
it being in your head.
Yeah. I don't know about the whole idea of downloading tutorials to your brain. That might not be ready yet.
That may not be the best thing yet.
But people totally fell for it. Especially biohackers. For some reason, the people who should know best. And I think it's because they know hopeful. That people are working on stuff that's weirdly similar to this. They're like, but I know someone who's doing a bone conduction stick-on speaker thing. And it's I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
I don't personally yet, but maybe in like a few decades we'll have this. And of course, there's all the questions about like consent and privacy and like security and all that stuff. And,
yeah, of course.
which are very good questions to raise.
Yeah. Well, maybe with like Neuralink, we'll get some interesting progress there.
We'll see.
It'll be fun. Cool. So, any other interesting projects you have going on?
No, nothing else interesting. Totally boring.
Wow.
Okay,
well, that's it.
So we're done here. I'm interested in launching a series of solar projects, which I think will be really cool. Just aiming to promote more sort of sustainability-oriented stuff. Which, so Adafruit has a bunch of really cool solar things, including this solar sort of achievement badge that they have, which is very cool, but I haven't been able to find really any comprehensive tutorials for it.
What does it do?
It's just like a little solar panel, and then it comes with a little badge attachment on the back so that you can pin it to your shirt or whatever. Yeah, and they have a kind of video about it and a workshop, but it's designed to be run by a teacher in a classroom. And I think there's some like materials missing that I don't know because I've never done solar stuff before. So I'll have to like reference that, read up on it, and then publish some stuff on Hackster.
Okay.
And I think that'll be pretty cool.
That looks like it'd be cool for wearables.
Yeah. I want to make a whole like chain, like a belt of them. And then I'll have like, because if you put them in series, you get more current, right?
Less current.
Voltage.
Yeah, more voltage,
Yeah, and that's what I would need in order to get up to like 5 volts for something if I just chain a bunch of these together. Obviously it's going to vary, but then I'll learn how to build like a solar charging circuit, and yeah, we'll see.
That's cool. Okay.
Yeah, that's an interesting
Be able to
idea.
run like 2 LEDs off of it.
Yeah, I mean, you don't even need it to be getting up to 5 volts. You could just be charging a LiPo.
True.
And then have the LiPo powering it.
Yeah, if you know any good guides for like doing solar stuff, I would love to hear that, because
I'm sure I could search quickly on Hackster.
Yeah, I have gone a little bit into our search database, and at this point it's just like I need to do a bunch of reading, and then I'll be good. Yeah. I'm excited to get this up and running. I get to spend a little while today on it, so that'll be fun.
So it looks like the servos are getting the claws to kind of move, like, in and out.
Yeah, they're gonna move like side to side, and then I'll be able to pose it like up and down myself. And basically, I already took this actually to Developer Week with Xilinx a couple of weeks ago.
Nice.
And so, yeah, because their FPGA is on here, obviously. And people were really excited about it. Even just sitting there with no cable or anything, not doing anything, they were just like, "Oh my god, what's that?"
Yeah.
Because it's like you see 3D printing and like a little thing with like what looks like motors on it.
Yeah. It does look like a little humanoid. Like, I know it does kind of.
It
has
does.
like little hands.
I mean, with the creator, you could also make the LEDs like a happy face, like the 2 eyes and mouth.
Yeah, you totally could. Like Edward Gator hands. that'll be the other one, I guess.
The Matrix voice.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll just swap them out. Because this one you don't have to have the Pi attached. You can just program it with the Pi and then like have the ESP32 take over, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Nice. Cool. Yeah, so we'll for sure have to make one. We are tentatively maybe going to Bay Area Maker Faire. Not 100% confirmed yet.
It'd be cool to see you there.
Yeah.
So and maybe we can do another project. Maybe something. I don't know what.
Iron Man Part 2.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I
or
don't know
maybe
how.
some other Marvel superhero that's very left out.
Yeah, what other Marvel superhero is techie? In some way.
I'm sure there's more.
I'm trying to think of one.
Or we could like simulate superpowers with motors and tech.
Yeah. Interesting.
All kinds of options.
I have to think about it for sure. Maybe something Black Panther.
Black Panther's pretty techy.
There's a lot of tech, yeah.
Wakanda is very techy.
That would be amazing. For Shuri, specifically, totally. And, I don't know. I'm going to be excited about no matter what you come up with.
Yeah, and if you have ideas, like, let us know,
Yeah.
Oh, too many.
Yeah, that's true.
Dangerous questions.
So here, let me ask, if anybody in the chat has any questions for Alex or us, feel free to put it in there. I know Sean said little robot arms, so just
Oh,
asking about that.
Yeah. Yeah, little robot arms.
Let me check if in the other one there's anything.
Doesn't seem to be other questions so far, but
Yeah.
Cool.
yeah. So that's like super fun. Like, you know, I didn't like I saw a picture on Instagram you had posted of Trio a long time ago where you were like, oh, like sneak peek, I'm working on something. But I thought it was a soldering station that you were like, you know, that's what it, because on soldering stations sometimes you have those magnifying glasses.
Right.
Yeah, I thought it was something like that. But like that, this is pretty awesome. It's like a little robot.
I have something else in the works for soldering stations. Like I was trying to make a little Archie head that I can put my lead-free solder in because I'm switching to lead-free.
That's so cute.
And
but
it's
it
not,
takes so much longer.
But it's so much healthier.
It's better than I expected when you crank up the heat. Yeah, I have tended to be really anti lead-free solder, but Zach Frieden posted a whole thread on Twitter about like, you know, you really, if you're like working with kids, if kids are going to be handling it, if you're going to be disposing of it in the environment and whatnot, and I was like, well, it's worth giving it another go.
Yeah.
And I feel competent enough with soldering at this point that I should be able to deal with something a little bit more inconvenient. Yeah. And it is more finicky, but it works surprisingly well. Like, I think I just had this bias against it,
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I want to celebrate that with like a little solder holder, because that's always useful if you can sort of put it down on your desk and then like bring the stuff over it, then you need one fewer hand.
Oh yeah, I do that all the time. I just get the reel and I just bend it up.
You do like a little snake, like put it onto the desk and then up so that it's because we never have enough hands.
We don't, but I'll build one of those. And then how's Archimedes going? I saw on Twitter that you got emotions working.
Oh yeah. So I had emotions working before, but I was never able to get a hardware out from that because it would always do some weird glitchiness. So now I'm able to get him to recognize emotions and then trigger something else, which is very exciting. And basically what I need to do with that is, for the longest time, Archimedes has only been he would sit there and he would recognize emotions, and then he had a separate controller for the motors, and he still does, but before the motors were always going sort of randomly. And what I want to do is trigger animations, like motorized animations based on the emotion that he's seeing. So if you're happy, he'll be like, ah! Or, whatever he can do with his limited mobility. Pardon. And then, if he has, like, sad animations, and integrating him with this other protocol called Chirp, which I think we might have talked about maybe.
Chirp, they were in the Hackster office as well when we visited for Iron Man.
That's right, when you did the Iron Man thing.
Yeah, they were there. So they, like, do some, like, they have, like, this, like, bird chirp, like, decoding messages that way, or something, or, like, encoding messages that way. Yeah, it's like R2-D2 kind of. Yeah, it was interesting.
What was it? Chirp.
Like an audio, like sort of, it's encoded in audio, like messages. Yeah.
It sounds like R2-D2. It's so good.
Yeah, it's super cool.
And I think it's the perfect protocol for little robot companions to communicate with each other. So, like, Archie could send little chirps to this, or this could send chirps to other things to, like, turn up the lights or something.
Have you ever heard of Furby?
Yeah.
Oh my god, this reminds me of Furby. I used to have one when I was little. They were these little, like, kind of robot dolls, I guess, but they could talk to each other if you bought multiple Furbies. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they were, I don't know, I was too young and I, like, dropped it and it broke and it never worked. But
there's a whole new life to the Furby ecosystem now. Someone made, like, a Furby piano or orchestra or a Furby organ, maybe, where, like, I think each one plays a certain note or something.
Oh, wow. Dang, I didn't know they existed anymore.
Wow.
When you take the skin off those things, they look terrifying.
Oh, they're scary. Yeah, they look like little birds, essentially. Like, so
interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. I think I've heard of it. I've never actually seen one.
Yeah. We'll look it up.
We'll look it up. I want to see what it looks like without the skin now.
Oh my god, I don't know what it looks like without the skin.
Yeah, pretty terrifying because it's got those big bulbous eyes and then the little, like, robotic shutters for the eyelids and stuff, and the beak thing, and it's like,
that's creepy for sure.
Furbies. Yeah, so I think Chirp would be a great way for different robots to communicate with each other, and it'd be kind of cute. There's also, like, ways they can do it You can do it ultrasonically as well, so that you don't actually hear it.
Right.
And I think that would be cool if you want to like embed animation patterns in, for example, a song or a soundtrack, so that people hear like the sound of it, and then sorry,
No,
then
take your time.
the robot like responds to the track just because it's got these embedded codes telling it what to do, and that way you could have like, you know, instantly downloadable new animations or whatever. But
secret
down the line,
codes.
secret codes.
Make a
Oh
song.
my god.
Hacks the robot, adds in their own script. I don't know.
Oh my god.
I mean, there's already creepy stuff going on with Alexa and stuff. This is part of why, like, I'm so happy that y'all are working so well with Snips and Mycroft and stuff like that, is because, like, you can have it be offline, you can have it be super customizable, and you can know exactly what it's doing, pretty much.
Right.
Yeah, it's great. And I have Snips running in my apartment 24/7. I mean, we have it running here for the lights.
Cool.
Have you seen the lights in our office?
No! Show me.
Hey, Snips, turn off the light.
Ta-da!
Fantastic.
Hey, Snips.
Maybe not.
Hey, Snips.
Oh no.
Hey, Snips. Turn on the light. We're like 20 feet away from it, too.
Yeah.
Remarkably good for a live demo. Holy crap.
Yeah, and it's 20 feet away.
Yeah,
it's
wow.
Yeah.
And it's under the air conditioner, so there's a lot of things. It's good. It's pretty good.
It's very
we like Snips.
Yeah.
I need that actually. That one of the projects that I want to make coming up is basically I have an unfortunate tendency to fall asleep with the lights on, especially when I'm extremely tired, which just makes me even more tired the next day, and it's the worst thing ever. And so, like, if I can just yell at it to turn off, that would be so much better.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I have set up in my apartment. I don't want to have to walk to turn on and off the lights.
Yeah, have you published that as a tutorial? Because I would build that in a... Oh my god, I'll look that up.
Yeah, if you do Snips light switch, you should be able to find it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Or on our platform page, it's one of the latest ones. Yeah, and we have like a 3D printed case for the Matrix voice, and we show you how to wire it with the relay. But it's cool. It's very cool.
Yeah.
And one other project that I want to do, which is it's very similar to the light switch, is making a thermostat. Because a thermostat, it's basically just like connecting the wires, just like a light switch, except like, connect it for on, off, hot, cold, and that's it.
Or do like a resistor ladder or something.
Or just like a bunch of relays, really.
Oh, right, yeah, totally.
Because like the voltage, it's high voltage, so yeah.
Yeah, right, right.
So yeah, that's another thing I want to do. Another one is like adding my projector to Hackster, which I don't know when that's gonna happen because it's complicated. But
what does the projector do?
I basically 3D printed a structure I have like a little projector from like Brookstone that it basically hangs from the ceiling, has the projector, an Apple TV, and a creator, and a servo to control the angle of the projector. So
great.
Because like when the projector turns on, if it's not at the right angle, if it's not like dead on to the wall, then it'll be like a trapezoid. And it has like something inside to calibrate itself, but that requires like motion. So I have a servo that like does a motion sequence to go up and down into the right position. And then I set up a photoresistor with a little LED so that I can turn on and off the projector without like mixing the voltages.
That's great. Oh, like an opto-isolator, but DIY.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
I learned all of this when I was trying to figure out how to do that with some rain.
Opto-isolators are magic.
Yeah,
it is.
They're fun.
It's so cool. And
it's kind of like Trip in a way. Like you're switching to a different protocol, which has sort of like a way of isolating the two. Because Trip, you can communicate between things with different programming languages, or sorry.
No,
or voltages or anything.
Yeah.
Just like with an opto-isolator, like it doesn't matter what the system is on each end, they can talk to each other.
Right.
So cool.
It is cool.
I mean, sort of. I guess you still have to have a specific protocol for that. But...
Yeah, but I mean, well, the opto-isolator is just like, on-off.
Yeah, like enough to send a message, which is, on-off is all you need.
Yeah.
So looking over here, I don't think there's any questions.
Okay.
I gotta look up this light switch tutorial of yours. For some reason, I'm not finding it, but
we can send you a link at the end by email if you want. Yeah.
If you go to our page, it's on there as well. Our platform.
I'm sure it is. I'm just bad at finding it.
It's one of the first ones.
If you make it though.
It's right there.
Oh, okay, you got it.
My brain. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna blame it on being like having a cold and being half asleep, but let's see what
and
it
being like super engaging with this live stream. You can't put too much attention searching for things.
That's what it is.
So engaging. Oh yeah, I did an interview this morning that we taped for this Friday that was pretty exciting, so I've kind of been on. But yeah, here we go.
Nice.
Voice control your lights with Snips AI and a mystery. This is exactly what I want!
Yay!
This is exactly what I need! Yeah! Oh, and even teaches how to use the robot gear relay. That's cool. Delightful.
Literally, it goes through every single step, so you don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah.
Oh, and Etcher. I love Etcher.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Etcher's great.
Did you see the Bellina fin they came out with recently?
The fin? Yeah, I saw that. It's basically like a more industrial Raspberry Pi board.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember looking at that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a carrier board for the compute module. And it can take a cellular SIM card as well.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if you could combine it with Matrix.
I'm looking forward to the the Etcher Pro thingy, basically the little computer with a bunch of SD card slots.
Yeah.
That I want. 'Cause I have that jerry rigged here, and it's
That'd be a great thing for a hacker space, just to have like a little dispenser with pre-imaged like Raspberry Pi noobs or like Raspbian Stretch Lite or whatever.
That's basically what we have in our office. We have a bunch of like pre-imaged things that we can just little drawers with hundreds of SD cards. Quite literally hundreds of SD cards.
Yeah.
I am not shocked. That is definitely a thing that happens.
Yeah.
About the light switch guide, we're gonna rework it with Matrix Lite, so it's like, you know, you don't have protocol buffers and all of that in the background. So you know, you can also try it out with Matrix Lite. Yeah. You know, it's not Matrix Lite would like condense the code a lot as well. So
I'm really excited about that. That sounds really cool. Matrix so like, does it have a different? I unfortunately haven't gotten to go through the whole video yet. Does it have a different installation?
It's very simple. Yeah, you download HAL, and it's like a wrapper on HAL. So then you just kind of one line after you download Node, it's just one line to install the JS package.
Neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, for some reason, I've just been really bad at getting snips installed properly and getting it to listen to me and stuff. So I think it'd be really cool to try another way.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, let us know if you ever have any trouble. We could send you an image.
Yeah.
Actually, the ARM Dev Day image has snips already.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, it's an older version of snips.
Yeah, snips updated, and then also Python 2.7 is going to be deprecated.
That was the thing.
Yes. Yeah. A lot of snips skills are in Python 2, which all have to be now upgraded to Python 3.
Oh,
so that's breaking for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I was messaging with them and they're like, this shouldn't break anything, it's just a warning. And I was like, but I think it's breaking stuff though. And they're like, no, it's just a warning. Like, no!
Yeah, it says error, but it's apparently a warning, so it's confusing. Yeah, we had somebody post on the Matrix community earlier this week as well with the same, like, oh, like Snips isn't working, it's giving me a Python like 2.7 error. Like
the component took too long to respond. I think I saw that same thread.
yeah, something like that. So,
which shouldn't be breaking, but for me, I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't updated snips on anything just because I'm scared. I don't want to spend a couple hours fixing it.
I know that feeling as well. I really try not to monkey around with anything in Archie's brain, just because, like, you know, there's always something broken, and I hope it's not that.
Well, you know that, like, robot arm demo that we take to, like, trade shows and stuff? So,
with the lamp.
So
so adorable.
So I carry around with me like 5 clones of the SD card. So there's no way that I'm not gonna have a working one.
Yeah. We actually recently updated it though, so we need to clone the new SD card.
Yes.
Yeah.
While keeping the old
We
clones.
updated it to be Snips instead of Google Assistant.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
I need that Bellina Etcher thing already. Yeah, or whatever. What is it? The Etcher Pro or something?
Yeah, that's your Pro. I think
It's a
so.
little confusing because Etcher is like a software product and Etcher Pro is a hardware product, but I guess they just go together. So
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I imagine it's basically like a Raspberry Pi inside with a
yeah,
screen
probably.
running Etcher. That's it. Pretty simple. Although they want like $1,000 for it, which I don't know
Yeah,
about that.
Maybe it'll
yeah.
come down.
Yeah, but there's
Does
other
seem
ones
like
that
something for a hackerspace or something like that, where you just
yeah,
like
True.
for workshops and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
All
well,
right.
if there's anything else on here, did you have any other things to say, Alex? Any other cool things happening? Events you're
Not
going
nothing
to?
totally boring over here. No,
Like,
I mean, I'll be updating this tutorial, so it's at bit.ly/triobot. That's TR10bot.
Okay.
And right now it's obviously very bare bones, but you can pull down the 3D models at least, and I'll be updating the tutorial with more info, especially once I get the software running, and that's going to be really exciting.
Nice.
Cool.
And watch out for our hack chat, which is coming out soon.
Yeah, it's very soon.
We're going to be beta testing it in a few hacker events, as you know. But yeah.
Oh my god.
I'm glad you
Yes.
enjoyed that.
No,
Yeah.
it was very funny.
I think for like a few seconds I was actually like staring at it, not sure how to process, and then I was like, oh wait, okay.
Yeah, when I first saw it, I was like, "There's no way," and I believed it. And then I just had to go on with my day. And the next day, I looked closer because I believed it was real. I didn't believe how, but
I mean, I
then
feel
I
like
saw
you
that it
guys should, of anyone, should have known that it was the 20th anniversary of The Matrix coming out,
Oh,
which is
wow.
like part of
really?
why it was why I decided to do this, because this is actually the
didn't even know
same.
that.
I just modeled this off of the original Matrix movie
Oh,
prop.
Oh,
wow.
really?
And yeah. So I put it up on
Yeah.
Thingiverse in case anyone wants to cosplay like they're from the Matrix or something.
Ooh.
That's pretty cool. Yeah,
just did
honestly,
that.
I feel like I saw The Matrix like years ago. I don't remember.
It's not like
it at all.
required viewing at your company.
We should
I
make
guess
it.
now it
We
is.
should have a
Gotta
company
be a
outing
movie
where we
night.
watch The Matrix.
Yeah.
Next company outing.
Yeah, we'll put it in
Yeah.
the showroom.
Yeah.
That'd be
Okay.
rad.
Okay, sounds
Well, thanks for
good.
having me on.
Yeah, of
Oh,
course.
thanks for coming on, Alex. It's always fun. Hopefully, we'll see
Yeah.
you at Bay Area Maker Fair.
For sure.
That's in a month.
In May,
exactly
yeah.
a month.
That's
Yeah.
terrifying.
Hopefully,
Don't say
Yeah.
that.
A month and 1 day.
Hopefully, we get to see Trio there. And
Oh yeah.
Archie.
If anything, we already have them. I already have the page up, so I'll 3D print this, and we'll have our own trio.
Yes, fantastic.
Maybe we can have a trio of trios.
Oh my god.
You
That's
should do yours in
great.
a different color. It'd be great.
For
Oh
sure.
yeah,
We
definitely.
should have like an RGB.
True.
I think
RGB
I have
theme.
red. I'm trying
That's
to think.
nice.
Yeah, I have red
Nice.
ABS.
Or whatever.
Yeah, I
Glow in the
figured.
dark.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be
Metallic.
cool. Mm.
Something. I have black. I have a lot of black PLA.
Black's good. Oh, that'd
Yeah.
look really good too.
I'll just
Yeah,
be
that'd
the
be
cool,
slick.
like, blue, black, and white. Like,
Mhm.
Yeah, we just obviously have a lot of this because
Well, yeah.
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 That makes sense.
I wonder why.
All right.
Okay,
Well,
cool.
thank you for coming,
Yeah,
Alex.
thanks again.
And
And
telling us all about the cool stuff you've always been working on.
Thanks for
Yeah.
making some cool tools.
yeah, no, thank you. So yeah, that's about it.
All
Well,
right.
thanks, Alex. Bye.
Thanks. We'll see ya.
Cheers.
Okay, let's see. All right.
Awesome. Okay, Trio
Cool.
is very cool.
Yeah.
And, we're for sure building one.
Definitely not what I expected. I actually thought it was a soldering station.
Well, at first when you were Googling it, you
Well,
thought it was a
no.
component.
This was like months ago. She had posted a picture of Trio on Instagram. She
Oh,
didn't call it
really?
Trio. She just was like, "Oh, sneak peek at a Matrix Creator project," and I thought it was a soldering station.
Hmm.
And then I didn't realize this was Trio. I made the connection when she showed it to us. But I had looked up TR10 right before the live stream, and it was some obscure, not obscure, but some like
It was obscure.
random tech.
It was
Yeah,
obscure. It was a
Some
random
chips.
SMD component on AvNet.
Yeah. There was also like some like diode like light thingy that was also had TR10 in the name. I was like, what is Alex working on?
Yeah.
What is she gonna share with us?
No idea.
About
But this is
Trio.
cool.
This is so cool.
I'm
Yeah.
for sure building one.
Very cool.
That's so fun.
It's like a
Awesome.
tiny robot.
Yeah. So yeah, that was the interview. I guess any announcements?
Announcements. As many people might already know, we have a Snips contest with Arm and Hackster coming up.
Yes. So that'll be in sometime in May.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, we're trying to get it so that it's if we end up going to the Bay Area Maker Faire, that it'll be launched by the Bay Area Maker Faire, if not there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so stay tuned for more info on those two things. What else?
Well, there's a month of robots on Project 14. You can check that out. We will be posting a blog post this week about our robot arm.
Nice.
So yeah, that's also like super fun. You can like just post blogs about any robot type projects you've done, whether it be small, big, whatever, which is like fun. Yeah.
Cool.
And I think there's prizes too associated with it, which
Ooh.
we don't qualify for, sadly.
Unfortunately, but you guys do.
Yeah, I think
maybe you could send us the prize. No.
I think they give out the little R2D2 robots.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god, those are so much fun.
Yeah,
one of our coworkers got one, and we spent too much time playing with it.
Yeah, that one day we need to take it out again and just have it like roll around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so fast. Like, it's cool.
It's pretty fun.
Okay.
All right.
Well, let me check. Any questions? No.
No
Okay.
questions?
Well,
Cool.
thanks for tuning in, everyone. See you next week. This has been Alfred.
Submarine.
Bye.
Bye.